Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. XRP on the daily here, still moving within that bearish pennant pattern. Today's going to be an interesting day because it's Monday and the stock markets have been closed over the weekend. So what are we going to see on the S&P 500, on the Dow Jones? On Friday, we saw an indecisive candlestick here, okay, so a lot of volume, and it was looking like it wanted to continue the upward trend like the day before that, like the Thursday. However, these candlesticks usually mean that there is a reversal in play. It means that the buyers in this case are tired out, and the sellers will likely overtake the trend. Today, I'm assuming we're going to see some downward pressure, probably closing below the opening. So it'll be a down day today. That's my opinion. We still got a half an hour before the markets open, but I thought I'd talk about this today. So this is the first article from Cointelegraph: Santander to extend Ripple-powered payment solutions to Mexico this year. So this came out on the weekend, but it's part of the bigger picture of what I'm going to be talking about in a bit in this video. So major Spanish bank Santander plans to roll out its Ripple-powered international payment system, OnePayFX, in Mexico in 2020. So in a Form 20F filled with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on March 6th, the bank revealed that Mexico will be offering its service in early 2020. The OnePayFX system is based on Ripple's RippleNet technology, and it's independent from XRP and does not need the digital currency to function, as Santander spokesperson previously outlined to Cointelegraph. And that's important because they are letting us all know that, it's not tied to XRP, guys. Don't get too excited. However, it does have the potential to utilize XRP once those cryptocurrency regulations come to pass. And that's the important part. To be able to source that liquidity with XRP once cryptocurrency regulations come to pass. Ripple is getting these companies hooked on their products first. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two, help foster the ecosystem, help foster XRP so that it can thrive, so that the ecosystem is more robust, more people are using it. And then the third phase, getting governments on board, rolling out widespread cryptocurrency regulation. Then bam, all these companies that have been integrated with Ripple products can now utilize XRP. So again, any of these news announcements, any kind of, RippleNet integration, to me just sounds like, we're using the products that we are able to right now, and then eventually we will use XRP once widespread cryptocurrency regulation comes to pass. Borislav Stoikov on Twitter asking Google Play Store when Zoom, and Vitsvin responded to him down here, saying tomorrow at 12 p.m. Amsterdam time, we will push the publish button, already reviewed and approved. So it's going to get launched, guys, Zoom. This was from yesterday, so they will be launching it today, 12 p.m. Amsterdam time, which I believe has already passed. Okay, right now I'm recording this in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so I'm sure if you guys go to the Google Play Store, you will see the Zoom app available to be downloaded. We got Matthew Liny here on Twitter, and he's posting this. Quartz TM blockchain solution for enterprise and ecosystem showcases RippleNet interoperability. And so this from Tata Consultancy Services, talking about the Quartz blockchain solutions for enterprise and ecosystems. And he posts this diagram here with a detailed flowchart on how this works. You guys can see here the Ripple network to the right here under Quartz Commander Center. So if you guys are interested in looking at that further, I will leave it in the description of the video. I believe here, yes, he does have a link here connecting to the website where he found the information. And for those of you guys who do not know, TCS Quartz blockchain platform introduces support for Ripple. So this, again, from back in April 2019, TCS has also joined the club of Indian companies supporting Ripple for cross-border transactions. So all this is connected, okay? More and more banks, and I feel like this is what I talk about day in, day out. A new bank is connected to this, which is connected to Ripple. There's another financial institution in this part of the world that has decided to connect to Ripple. That and these kinds of news articles as well. I'm going to bring this up. 3 articles in a row from XRP Crypto Wolf that he sent to me. And so let's go through some of these. France's central bank is launching a program of experiments to test the integration of a central bank digital currency, a CBDC, in innovative procedures for the exchange and settlement of tokenized financial assets between financial intermediaries. Now again, France, if you just take the bigger picture of what's going on here, guys, France, CBDCs, looking to create one because they want to move towards the digital revolution. Next one here, Qatar's central bank launches the Qatar Mobile Payment System for cashless transactions. It aims to enable electronic wallets on people's mobile phones to carry out electronic payments from one person to another with mobile QR codes in an instant. Another completely different country in the world that is looking to digitize payments through electronic wallets for their people. Another article here, Taiwan's digital minister says blockchain research is a top priority for the country to improve governance in a digital democracy. Ledgers are very promising. They are a cheap way to build accountability and some sort of legitimacy across sectors. So you guys can see a trend here. Different countries around the world looking to push towards blockchain adoption, getting rid of physical bank notes, going towards a cashless society, going towards cashless transactions, using phone apps, or using blockchain technology, CBDCs in some way, shape, or form. Now, I know when we talk about this ad nauseum, whether it's me or whether it's another YouTuber that you may follow, there's a bigger point here that I want to make. And that is, this is not all happening by accident. Some may even think that there is something bigger at play. And some of you guys may even think that something is fishy going on behind the scenes and that the powers that be do not want us to know. Now, we are living in unprecedented times right now, okay? There's a pandemic going on. The world is in chaos. People are dying. People are being hospitalized because of the beer flu. A lot of people really just aren't working right now. This is something that we have never seen in our lifetimes. People at home, staying at home, being told to stay at home, not to go anywhere, not to do anything, pretty much go out, walk around the block, get some fresh air, go get your groceries and come back home, spend time with your family. Governments are pumping money into the economy. Some governments are trying to subsidize businesses to help them pay so that their employees can keep working so that they can still be somewhat productive. And some people are suggesting that this could be all part of a bigger plan. Now, I saw this from XRP_Crow, and I got to give you kudos, brother. Watch this thread and share. And so I am. This is Jim Rickards, and I talked about Jim Rickards the other day. He did he wrote an article about the idea of one world currency, world money. And guys, this interview was from back in 2017. I don't know if you guys have heard this. This was before the pandemic. This was before the crisis that we're seeing today. This was 3 years ago. There are a few clips here. Let me play you them.
As I began connecting the dots, a pattern emerged. It revealed a network of more than 189 individuals positioned inside the world's major financial institutions. Some of them hold senior positions inside the IMF, World Bank, and every central bank in the G20, including our own Federal Reserve. These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is one world order, one world taxation, and one world money. They've worked for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening. When the crisis hits, they'll flip the switch, freezing the global financial system. That will give them time to reset the world economy according to their vision. As the coming crisis unfolds, President Trump will be powerless to stop it. In fact, trying to stop them would probably weaken the president's power altogether.
Okay, did you guys hear him say flip the switch? Because that's what I heard. 180 people, guys. I will link this in the description if you want to listen to it again. But essentially what he's saying is there is something going on. There's something fishy going on behind the scenes. And the powers that be, people that are hiding in plain sight, are part of this. And we've talked about some of these people. I know at least I have talked about several of these people in a lot of my videos, people connected to the IMF, the BIS, certain central banks around the world. And Jim Rickards is suggesting that there is going to be a global crisis. Then he's suggesting that this will be the opportunity for the powers that be to change over the financial system, to flip that switch, as he puts it, and essentially ignite a new world order. So XRP Crow down here at Stetus on Twitter posted a second video. Let me play you guys that one here.
Are and what their ultimate goal might be.
Like I said, John, more than 189 elite agents have slowly wormed their way into leadership positions across the board. They now sit at or near the head of the IMF, the World Bank, and even our own Federal Reserve. They also control much of what happens at the central banks of China, Russia, India, Brazil, Canada, and Europe. As you know, these institutions form a kind of global superstructure. It forms a kind of snare net encircling all nations. Their leaders aren't democratically elected. They're not accountable to you and me. They're beyond the reach of government and citizens, and yet they hold the fate of the global financial system in their hands. To get a sense of how they operate, imagine an array of floating spheres. One sphere is labeled IMF. One is labeled Fed. One is labeled Bilderberg. One is labeled Wall Street. One is labeled central banks. One is labeled intelligence agencies. One is labeled media, and so on. The elites inhabit all of these spheres, and together the network forms a kind of 3D Venn diagram. As I see it, regardless of what sphere they inhabit, the elites all share the same vision: one world order, one world taxation, and one world money.
One world order, one world taxation, one world money. Okay, that Venn diagram actually, if you guys weren't watching the screen, I'd suggest you go back and take a look at that. It's interesting because we've all, again, like I said, I've talked about these organizations separately, you know, as individual entities. And, you know, we always discuss how there's connections to Ripple and XRP within these entities separately. But Jim Rickards is not afraid to connect the dots, and he's seeing that the IMF, the Fed, central banks of the world, the Bilderberg Group, Wall Street, intelligence agencies, and the media are all in cahoots. Let me go down here, and in this video, he's naming some of the people, some of whom you will recognize.
Forward.
Now, are you able to share the identities of these elites with our viewers?
We've identified more than 189 individuals who are in many cases hiding in plain sight. Regardless, they all share the same vision: one world order, one world taxation, and one world money. A short list would include Christine Lagarde, Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF; Mark Carney, Governor of the Bank of England; Raghuramji Rajan, Vice Chairman of the Bank for International Settlements; Haruhiko Kuroda, Governor of the Bank of Japan; William C. Dudley, President of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York; Agustin Carstens, Governor of the Bank of Mexico; Janet Yellen, Chairman of the Board of the Federal Reserve System; Mario Draghi, President of the European Central Bank; Zhu Min, former Deputy Managing Director of the IMF; Zhou Zhiuquan, Governor of the People's Bank of China; Robert E. Rubin, Chairman of the Council on Foreign Relations. This A-list of central bankers and other elites is just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, not one of these elites will tell you outright what's going on, but I've seen and heard enough to connect the dots for myself.
So some people of note there: Christine Lagarde, obviously. We've talked about Mark Carney. We've talked about Augustin Carstens. Okay, some of these guys, very heavy hitters. And more importantly, some of these people have a very close relationship with the Ripple team. We know Brad Garlinghouse has been sitting in on meetings with these guys too. And so I think Ripple and XRP will be connected to this if it comes to pass, if what Jim Rickards is saying is true. Now let's just listen to this last video because I think this one's the most interesting one here. Let me play this for you guys.
What did these elites want from your contact at BlackRock?
Basically, they want to classify BlackRock as too big to fail. The technical term is Systemically Important Financial Institution, or SIFI. That designation normally applies to banks, such as Bank of America. If your bank gets the SIFI label, it means the government will bail you out first in a crisis. But it also means you must turn over control of your bank until the crisis subsides. In this case, they're trying to reclassify BlackRock, an asset manager, as too big to fail. If they succeed, they'll be able to freeze BlackRock when the crisis hits. BlackRock clients won't be able to sell. They won't be able to buy either. Their accounts will go dark indefinitely, and the elite operatives will take control of BlackRock's assets remotely via the internet. But our research shows that their ICE 9 plan goes much, much deeper than that.
So there you go. The elites trying to get into BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, and them wanting it to be categorized as an institution that's too big to fail. Therefore, they can freeze assets in the accounts. They can take control remotely via the internet. How many of you guys are thinking right now, boy, I wish I had more money in cryptocurrency, in XRP? And guys, this could happen to any of your accounts, no matter where you are in the world. This is why I like to keep my cryptocurrency on a Ledger Nano S. Guys, I do have an affiliate link in the description. You do not have to use it if you do not want to. But this kind of thing gets me thinking. Is it possible for the elites of the world to hatch this plan, to make it come to fruition in the midst of a crisis? Is our money safe, and should I be buying more XRP? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.